Hey there, it's Eileen. I am here today with Ashley McCormick-Sanders. She is a fellow agent, an awesome agent in my office, and we are doing our monthly market update so that you can just keep informed of everything going on in the Las Vegas Valley. And today we're going to give you the stats, but we're going to do a little bit of strategy because everybody in this market right now is super worried about how can I do this if I can't do this? Or how can I make this happen when this isn't in line? So we're going to go quickly through the market stats and then get to strategies that you can use. Okay, so this week we have currently 8,046 homes on the market without offers. So that is equivalent to about a 4-month supply. We have 35 new properties that went under contract, and we had 1,902 price reductions. So my question for you is, because Ashley has been doing this longer than me, she was in the market when the market tanked in 07, 08. And so she really has firsthand experience of the short sale market and the REO market. So last week we went up 6 short sales on the market, and we went up 2 REOs. Okay. So what does that mean to you when I say we've had 6 short sales come on and 2 REOs?
Well, I mean, before we had essentially the last 2 years we had nothing as far as short sales or REOs. Yeah. I do pay attention to the NOD list, which is the notice of default lists that come through, and I see those ticking up, right? Yeah. So what that says to me is that people may maybe the forbearance is coming into play, and they don't have the money to pay that back. Yeah. On top of the fees, that kind of thing. So that's what that's saying to me in that shift.
So is that a big shift? I mean, are those a lot of REOs and short sales?
No, they're not a lot right now. But like I said, I'm starting to see them tick up just a little bit. Yeah. And which is an indication, in my opinion, that we may be heading down that road. So
at the height of like maybe the Great Recession, do you remember how many short sales there would have been, or how many REOs, like just in comparison?
I think it was the exact opposite. I think, I mean, pretty much, over 95% of our market was distressed. Yeah. Right. So now it's complete reverse, and hopefully, I don't think we'll ever get back to where we were. Yeah. But I do see signs that, some people are going to be needing some help.
Yeah. So you mentioned NOD. So a notice of default is what exactly?
So it's a notice that you have defaulted on your mortgage. Okay. Right? So you're 30 days late, that kind of thing. And so then a notice is filed that, hey, this person is late. Yeah. Something's happened. And then the whole process starts.
Okay. So at the point where someone might get a notice of default in the mail saying that they're over, is it 30 days or 90 days late when those come out?
That's a good question. I'll have to check.
Yeah, because I think it could be 90 days, but I don't remember. It's been so long. Yeah. So we'll check. But so if they get that notice of default, what are the next steps that are taken?
I would contact a professional at that point and see what my options are, because a lot of people don't understand that because the market has appreciated so much, they may still have equity in their homes, right? Which would be huge. So even if they're late on their payments, they've gotten that notice of default, they may still be able to get out of that home and with a little bit of equity and paying off that debt, saving some of their credit, that kind of thing. So there's definitely options for people out there like that. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, so if you find yourself in that situation, if you get a notice of default, if you know already, listen, in the next 30 days, I may not be able to make my mortgage payment. Contact us. We will walk you through what that process looks like. We can actually estimate, pretty quickly what you might have in equity in your home and whether or not it makes sense for you to sell your home, not only to save your credit, but to have access to the equity that you have in your property and to be able to still have enough money to go somewhere else with that equity that you have. So there are always options out there. I was on a Zoom call yesterday, actually, which is perfect timing because we're doing this update today. And I didn't realize that she was a renter.
Okay.
So we're having this conversation and she's like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in this room. And she's like, my landlord is not like fixing my air conditioning.
Wow.
It works. It's just not working optimally,
Okay.
so because it's not broke, they're not going to fix it. So, I said jokingly, hey, I know a really great realtor if you want to buy a house, and we, of course, all start laughing.
Right.
And she said, I would love to, but my debt to income ratio is through the roof.
Okay.
She said, I have great credit. We pay all of our bills on time. I have great income. She said, but, with my debt to income ratio, I can't get a loan.
Right.
And so we've been talking about a program that we have access to in the state of Nevada that allows people with over a 620 credit score, and making all their payments on time. You cannot have a criminal record, and you have to go through like a screening process, a qualifying process, but you can actually buy a home. With a caveat, this company will come in, they will pay cash for the home for you. Your rent is just, exactly what you'll pay for the next 3 to 5 years. Every year it goes up a little bit,
okay,
but not crazy like it has these past couple of years.
Right.
Rates have gone through the roof. And it allows you to, in 3 to 5 years, or actually anytime through this process, buy the home from this company that paid cash for it. So it is a rent
program.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's a rent to own program, but not the traditional kind where you're putting $20,000 or $30,000 down. You're putting like your first month's and last month's and maybe some fees. But with today's market, it makes it really great for people who, like my friend, maybe don't have the credit that they need to get a loan, or they don't have the money for a large down payment. It could make sense for you. And it's all over the valley. So I looked on their website last night, and there are, from Henderson to Las Vegas to North Las Vegas, every area of town that you can imagine, homes that qualify for this program. And the great thing about it is because we have 8,000 properties
right.
on the market right now, you have a lot to choose from.
Right.
So if you are in that situation, that is the first strategy that we are sharing with you today, is a rent-to-own program. Contact us and we can walk you through the specifics. If you're looking to upsize or downsize, you're going to love this one. Yeah. So can you please share the listing appointment that we went on this week?
Sure. Yeah. So we went on a listing appointment with a past client, and we were discussing, they were looking to downsize in their home, right?
Yeah.
They walked us through the beautiful home that we had sold them, a few years ago, and everything looked great. They had done some remodeling, that type of thing, but it was just too big for them, right? So they wanted to downsize, have a little bit smaller lot, that kind of thing, but they weren't sure exactly what they would get for their home. So we went over, obviously, told them, and unfortunately, because the market has shifted a little bit, we weren't able to get them to where they would need to be.
Yeah, because they wanted a little bit more than what their house was worth. But come on, if I could get more for my house, I'd say the same thing.
100%. I know, all day long, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked to them about options and sent over some properties right, that were a little bit smaller, a smaller lot, that kind of thing. And they said, this is great. Now we can pay off debt, right?
Yeah.
And because they were also nervous about the interest rates. Everybody's talking about the interest rates. They're 5%. They're not 2% anymore.
Right.
And so the way we were explaining it to them was like, okay, well, you have a little bit of debt, right? So you can pay off that debt with your equity.
Yeah.
So you're getting rid of that 18% interest right off the bat, right? So you're paying 5%, a couple more percent on your mortgage payment, but you're also eliminating a few $100s per month, and most of it is interest to a credit card company, right?
Right.
So that's another option that they were super happy about, and so we've got them out looking at properties, right?
Yeah. So and that's the thing that we kind of have to look at. And that's why I think that, we make the difference when we go in, is because we're not just coming in with, give us your listing.
Right.
Let us help you buy a home. We have strategies that we can actually implement with you that make so much sense when we actually lay them out. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, yes, you're going to pay 5% interest, but you're already comfortable paying 18 to 25% interest on credit cards.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Right.
Why would you not do, or change your home if you could to get your dream home instead of paying 18% interest on a credit card? So the strategies that we have, and hey, we've got lots of them, not just these few that we're sharing with you. We have a lot of strategies for you to use to get into the home of your dreams.
Right.
So that is strategy number 2 that we're sharing with you today. All right, strategy number 3 involves new homes. And I know that during this whole, past few years, new homes have been, kind of a love-hate relationship. You wanted to get into this new home, but you're standing outside in the blistering heat, waiting for the opportunity to put your name into a drawing to get a lot.
Right.
Well, times have changed. So we are no longer in that market. So can you please share, you have an amazing success story with a client that you just put under contract with a new home.
Blew me away too, to be totally honest. So she was moving in from the Bay Area. We were looking for something specific, right?
Yeah.
And she knew the price point that she wanted to stay in. So we went out to new homes and found her one. But the property was listed at a little bit more than what she wanted to spend.
Yeah.
So she comes in and she's like, can we negotiate this? And I'm like, let's do it. Let's try. So we were able to, it was priced at like $890,000.
Yeah.
Right? She ended up in contract for $730,000. The builder is paying $10,000 worth of closing costs.
Yeah.
The property is standing.
Yeah.
And
the property is standing. Let's start there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the property is standing. We're going to be closing in 9 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is decked out. It is gorgeous. Like, I was so jealous walking through this house. I'm like, I want a new home now too. But it's perfect. And it just goes to show you that there is huge negotiating opportunities out there, even with these new builds.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is standing?
So standing is meaning that the inventory, the home has been built.
Okay.
So it's standing.
Yeah.
And it's ready for occupancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no waiting for build time.
Right.
And because build times, I don't know, they could still be a very long time if you want to build from dirt. But a lot of these builders, because now buyers have backed out,
right,
because interest rates have gone up, or they've purchased other properties while waiting for this home. Because, at one point, I was being quoted 18 to 24 months for some of these communities.
That's because of the lumber.
Right.
Yeah. Everything was on back order, right?
Yeah. So if you waited 24 months, you could have found another home that you loved just as much as what you were waiting to be built.
Sure.
So then they back out. Mm-hmm. Now this house is standing there waiting for somebody else to come in and buy it.
Some lucky new person.
Yeah, some lucky new person with all the upgrades someone else put in the property. So they are giving crazy incentives.
Right.
I just put a buyer under contract, and this is not super high end only.
Right.
This is this buyer went under contract on a home $429,000, wow. Which for new homes the past few years,
that's unheard of. Yeah.
Unheard of. Mm-hmm. And she got a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator, blinds. They paid closing costs and gave her $10,000 wow. to upgrade anything else in the home that she wanted to.
Wow.
So, I mean, they are taking offers. They are offering incentives. They are offering to pay closing costs if you use their preferred lender. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of incentives still to be had, but you have to take somebody with you who knows the questions to ask. Right. So you're excited. Listen, when I go look for new homes for myself, my training goes out the window. I'm like, ooh, look how pretty.
Right? Yeah.
I love that chandelier. Oh my gosh, that walk-in shower. And that's all I see.
Right.
And my senses kind of go out the window to some extent. So it's totally understandable that the same thing happens with you if you're walking through a property that you fall in love with.
Right.
I don't care what it costs. I want it.
Right.
So we're there as your emotional grounding to be able to help you ask the questions that need to be asked right. and to negotiate the best deal for you.
Right.
So, yeah, do not think that the deals are gone. They are not. They are out there. You just have to know where to look and how to ask. This is Ashley's first time doing our rapid fire questions. So, are we in a buyer's market? I don't know. How am I supposed to do this? A buyer's market? I don't know. Okay, never mind. A buyer's market, seller's market, or balanced market? Which do you think we're in?
Balanced, for sure.
And I do too. Okay. So balanced market is generally between 4 and 6 months worth of inventory on the market. Right. And that's where we're at. So with 8,000 homes, the rate we're selling them, that's how much inventory we have valley-wide. And then interest rates. Do you think they're going up? You think they're going down? You think they're staying the same?
I think they're going up.
Yeah, I don't think they're going up a lot, but I really do think that they're going up. And the Fed has kind of already baked those in. So yeah, I think we're going up as well.
Yeah.
So we threw a lot at you. We gave you a ton of information. But just so you know, you do not have to handle this on your own. If you have questions, even just want to strategize, and you know you're not ready yet, we are here to help you get that strategy in place so that when you are ready, we just pull the trigger. And if you are ready now, of course, call us. Let's chat so that we can make your Las Vegas home a reality. We'll see you next month.